Hey, this is 6-Volt in Von Doom's lab. It's going to be a little weird video. I know this is coming out of the blue, which I don't know, sometimes I like. That's how Hook of the Reaper kind of started. I just came out of the blue. No one really knew who I was or anything, and just that's how it started. But but right now, kind of one of the biggest complaints I kind of hear a lot is that people cannot use the Windows output and the network output on MAME. So the Windows is kind of what the MAME hooker use. It's the Windows to Windows output where the Windows can talk to each other. And of course, then the network output, which Hook of the Reaper use. So on MAME, you only can select one. You can do Windows or network. You can't do both. But, there's a lot of people, like I said, there's people using the new and old tools. So they're using mine or something else all the time. And usually with MAME, they can't have both. So, but that's really not anymore, actually. So I was kind of bored today cleaning up the Pico 2W code with the addressable RGB kind of LED strips. So I just forked MAME 0.286, the latest release, and forked it onto my GitHub. Then it took about like 35 to 40 minutes to compile a link. And this is using like 12 cores too, at like over 4 gigahertz. I was like, wow, this thing is pretty big. But after it kind of got done, I first thought, hey, I'll just create a new class, a new OSD output class to combine both Windows and the network. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, that's kind of dumb when I started it. It's like the better thing is just to change the Windows output code. Because if you compile it for like Linux or Mac or something else, you're not going to have the Windows code in there. You can't compile it, of course. It's for Windows only. So, but there's still network. So then I put the network code into the Windows communications code. So now when you select the Windows output method, it outputs on both. Then if you just select the network output, it just outputs on the network. And this actually was really pretty easy. So I just had to change one file, the win32 underscore output.c++ file. So it took about probably like 20-25 minutes to change, and then it took more time to recompile or something. Almost. Well, no, I mean the recompile is pretty fast, but the linking is really slow. But yeah, it's like 10 minutes to link, which is really kind of crazy. But I know they have a lot of files that combine with all the different emulators. But I can understand that. But yeah, it took a lot longer to compile it and link it versus the changes. So I do have it working. I'll be showing it. So it's a good bridge for people using the new and old tools. So I know I am, slowly getting up the display. I know people are like, oh, I want this or that, and it's kind of hard. I'm slowly working, but I'm getting it done. But it's going to be probably, reasonably like months before I get a lot of it done. So this is kind of to help the people out in that transition so people can use new and old tools together on MAME. So let's showing it working here. So I'll bring up my MAME here. So I have the original here, then I have my compiled version here. So here I'll bring up the INI, and you come down here, and you can see that I have Windows selected. All right. Okay. So let's start up. MAME here. So you can see MAME. If I take this away, you will see LG TCP tester, another tool that I wrote out in the community, and you'll see MAME hooker. And you can see MAME hooker working. So an easy one to do is just dig dug. So let me grab the wrong thing. But you can see now it's working. So if I put a quarter in, the LED will start coming up, and you can see it's working on both at the same time. Pretty much every retro gamer guy's dream, having two at the same time, I guess. But they can see it in action and working, both network and Windows communication with MAME, which is cool. It didn't really take that long. So now people have the information. And like I said, it's a good bridge. So that's it. Thanks. Bye.